How's it going, everyone? The Trout91 here for a Call of Duty Remastered video. Today you are watching an Overgrown gameplay on the remastered game itself from Call of Duty XP. Now, I've shown you a Crash gameplay and I've shown you a BACKLOT gameplay. It's time to show you the last map that was available to play at COD XP, and that is Overgrown. It's not a great gameplay at all. It was a distinctly average one, but it's one of the only games of Overgrown I have available to show you. So if you haven't seen much Overgrown gameplay, here is some for you now. You will see me use a bit of the M4. I think the AK comes out. Here's a bit of M40 stuff that I managed to pick up and all sorts of little bits and bobs like that. But I'm going to be talking a bit more about the things I would like changed and improved in the actual full release of this game. Some things have already started to change since playing the game at COD XP, so I will talk about those when it is time to talk about them. My first thing that I would like to change or remove are the medals. I think that the noises for them especially are way too overpowering. They're very distinctive and quite in your face. I don't like the noises. They're quite distracting, especially if you're trying to do stuff when you're using the sounds to your advantage. I think that they, especially when you get a load of them in a row, they're very distracting. I don't like them all up in my face, and it kind of takes away from the magic and the gleam of this game. I mean, so when I've been playing some of the other maps like Crash, BACKLOT, I'm like, yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's remastered. It looks like it's been a remastered COD, but it doesn't particularly impress me. But when I play Overgrown and I look at this, I know I've added a couple of color corrections and stuff like that to the actual gameplay itself, but wow, this is what I had in mind when I thought remastered. It looks beautiful, really, really well done. So taking away from that with medals going across the screen really hinders it. Just looking at it as it is now, nice and plain and simple like that, it looks beautiful. So I like the sounds changed. I mean, you think about the Black Ops 3 medal sounds, they are very subtle. I didn't even notice there were medals in that game for ages. That's how quiet and subtle they are. So they can be quite hampering to gameplay, especially if you like to use your sound. Maybe if you're playing Search and Destroy. I don't like the fact that they are so prominent. Next thing is to fix and change the kill feed. Now, they've already decided to bring back the old headshot display on the kill feed, you know, with the bullseye over the head. They're trying to bring that and implement it back into the kill feed, which I think is a very solid idea. You'll see the kill feed is very much based around the Advanced Warfare kill feed. I don't particularly understand why they decided to change the color scheme. So in Advanced Warfare, enemies were obviously displayed in red, but your team were displayed in white. And then when you yourself acted on the kill feed, you got a kill or you died or something like that, you would display in white. Sorry, blue. But now they've decided to do it blue for your team and white for the other one. So that confused me a little bit to start with. I wasn't really sure why they opted to go for that decision. I think they should probably think about changing it a little bit, because I'm just now, every time I look at it, I think, oh, I didn't actually get a kill there, so why is it in blue? I mean, had they started Advanced Warfare with blue and red, then I could have understood, but I just think in general they should change the kill feed to reflect a little bit more of what we had in COD 4. I'm not really a big fan of how it looks. I think some of the guns on the kill feed look decent, but I don't think it's an amazing one. It's just, I don't know. It's the only thing out of the entire display that I would like to see changed, to be honest with you. It's not like bad, but it's if they could make changes to the headshots, I feel like they could make an overall haul and change to the kill feed itself. Gun sounds. Now, some of them are okay. I think the M40 actually sounds pretty damn good. Obviously, we're so used to what it was. It is one of those staple guns in Call of Duty 4 that you kind of change it and we're a bit like, oh man, that's not the same as it used to sound. Although I quite like this new M40 sound. I can't say that I'm really sitting here saying change that gun specifically, but some of the other ones, maybe like the AK specifically for me, the M4, some of the gun sounds don't sound particularly impressive, and they don't sound like they used to, which is is okay in some respects. It's not the biggest of deals, I guess. A lot of these things are probably not big deals, but if you wanted to get things changed, I suppose now's the time to say it. I would only say that changing some of the gun sounds can have its benefits. It's obviously nice, especially with things like the Deagle. I don't think that particularly sounds impressive at all. I thought the Deagle gun sound was one of the most impressive noises I've ever heard from a gun in general. It just sounds awesome, doesn't it? So, as far as that gun goes, I would like to see that change, which I believe is being changed. The Barrett, I think the M40, the Deagle, and a couple of others are actually getting gun changes to sound more like their original forms. Obviously, we can't expect them to sound exactly the same. The audio files might not be available for them, but it would be good to have some of those guns noises changed to sound a bit more like they used to. I know that a lot of people have been saying they want the old announcers back, which I can agree with. I'm not a big fan of a lot of these new announcers. I mean, again, it's not a big change that I'm sitting here like, oh my god, I can't believe they changed these announcers. They were my best friends. But I would definitely have liked to have seen them bring back the old announcers. It's funny because there are certain, they've got in-game noises from the characters that are exactly the same, but the announcers are different, which I'm not really sure what that was about, but either way, it could be they just don't have access to the original files. Maybe they're copyrighted, they're expensive. I don't know. I don't know how the inner workings are, but another thing to move on to is the maps. So we found out that all 16 maps will be available on this game at some point. So I believe that on launch we've got 10 remastered maps. That's Ambush, Backlot, Bog, Crash, Crossfire, District, Downpour, Overgrown, Shipment, and Vacant. And then the other 6 will be released in December. Whether that's at the start of December or the end, we don't know. And it's going to be Strike, Showdown, Countdown, Block, Wetwork, and Pipeline. Now, my only thoughts here are that is 1, 2, 3, 4 at least. At least 4 maps that were ground war maps that we will not get until the full release. Does that mean that ground war will not be in from the release date? Does that mean that ground war will only have a certain few maps available? Maybe it's going to be a case of some of those maps that shouldn't necessarily be ground war maps won't be involved. I mean, there's still an array of ground war maps available from launch. But I would have liked to seen Strike thrown in from the first 10. I don't think Shipment is as great as that map is. Let's all be honest with ourselves. It is a staple COD 4 map. But I don't think it should have really been included in the original 10. Purely for the fact that if we're going to get them a month later, I think people can wait a month to play on Shipment. How many game modes do you actually see Shipment being played on? Apart from, like, what was it? Cage Match, Domination, Hardcore Headquarters... Probably even... Was regular hardcore... I mean, regular headquarters in there? I don't even know. But there wasn't a lot of playlists that actually featured Shipment. So I feel like they've kind of wasted one of the maps there. Probably because it was so simple to remaster anyway. It's not really a big deal. But I have to say I'd like to have seen Strike in there. Showdown as well. I feel like is a massive map that you need to be including in there. Could have probably taken out something like Downpour. I think I could wait a month to have Block. It's one of those maps that can be really good or really poor. I just think like the priority on which maps are coming in should be changed. It could be that they only decided recently to bring back all 6 maps into the final month, although by the sounds of it, it seemed like it was something that was in the works for a while. I would like to see them change that, but I can understand if it's not something they can actually do at this point in time. I think something that's also a big, big wonder, it's more of a question and more of a plea than something that I want changed, because we don't know what's going to happen throughout the year. But it sounds like they're making these changes very early on in the game. I imagine they don't want to spend too much time or money fixing and changing this game. Obviously, anything that is going to be a necessity to fix, there might be a glitch in the map where some people can get under or inside the map. There could be a discrepancy with one of the weapons that's not supposed to be there. I mean, this stuff can very easily happen in the game itself, just because maybe some coding gets overlooked. I mean, there must be so many lines of code and things to think about in this game that sometimes it can get overlooked, and I can't imagine this game has had too much time to be fully test it out and make sure that everything works and all that stuff, there will probably be moments where things just don't work out the way that they planned. But I would love to see people, I'd love to see Raven Software update this game regularly and make sure that it's well kept after it's released. Because I can easily see people who have been playing COD 4 for so many years, and COD 4 is kind of on its last legs now. There are people still playing it, but it's going to die eventually. That game, on console especially, will die at some point in the near future. And this is what we're hoping will replace it. So this game has to be looked after well. It needs to be a game that we play it and we don't think, oh, they've totally ruined a classic game, and we attempt to go back and play COD 4 again. I want to see them updating it, even if it means changing the game to its original form. If there's spawns that aren't working, I would like to see them change it. If there's just general balancing issues that need to be changed, a gun is clearly a lot stronger than another one, I want to see them change it. Some people are probably going to argue with me and say, no, leave it exactly the way it was. But when you think about how big this game could be, and obviously there are things that people are going to like, I'd love to see them actually change things. For me, this could be a very big competitive game coming into the next year. I imagine Infinite Warfare will probably take the helm at the begrudging of a lot of people. But this game could still have its own life and its own independence away from Infinite Warfare, not just something that's been tacked on to get people to buy the new game, right? So I'd love to see them actually take care of it, update it if it needs to be balanced, and modified to keep the game in good standing. Because there are a lot of flaws about the original version. Whether we like to admit it or not, there are flaws that probably should have been changed a long time ago, but no one ever got around to doing it. So if it comes down to it, I'd love to see it, especially from a competitive atmosphere. It would be a really big thing to change it. Add some more game modes if you need to. That would be awesome. That would be so awesome to see Hardpoint thrown in here. But anyway, hope you guys enjoy the video. Do let me know any of your thoughts on what should be changed or modified or anything like that I've talked about. I'll see you for the next one. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done. And I'll see you very soon. Peace out.